Next is fund of funds. The name should be very clear itself. So it is a concept under which, okay, so it is a concept under which the central fund is created by government or some agencies, and that fund do not directly give loan to people or businesses. Those funds invest into other funds which then give money to people. So it can be compared to refinancing. Okay? So you create some institution. For example, fund of fund is important in Indian context for the startups. Government of India in 2022 created a fund of fund for the startups. Now, these fund of funds will not directly give money to the startups. They are basically going to give money to other organizations which fund the businesses. For example, SIDPI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. So they finance other agencies, okay, refinancing agencies, and through them businesses will get loans. So here the idea is that there are startups, there is MSME, which both need a lot of financial support. There are different agencies which give funds to them, and we call these agencies development banks or term lending institutions. Or there are some institutions called All India institutions. Okay. So likewise, there are multiple type of institutions which give loan to startups, which give funds to startups, MSME. Now, who is going to give money to these type of institutions? For example, let us say NABARD. Now, NABARD is there. For example, SIDBI is there. For example, EXIM is there. Okay. For example, IL and FS is there. So there are so many agencies here. Now, who will fund those agencies? These agencies also need money because they will ultimately give it to the startups and MSME. Of course, that money will be either in the form of equity and mostly in the form of debt. Okay. So they basically give debt financing in most cases to the startups or MSME. But they also need a lot of funds. So a mother fund was created for them. That is the concept of funds of fund. So it is a financial strategy where a mutual fund scheme invests in other mutual fund scheme. So I've used the general idea to simplify it. So there is a mutual fund of mutual fund. A mutual fund invests into different stocks. Let us say I do not create a mutual fund, but I create a portfolio which put different money in different mutual funds. For example, I create a portfolio of 100 rupees. Out of 100 rupees, 8 rupees in SBI, let us say priority fund, 13 rupees in HDFC MSME fund, 30 rupees in ICICI startup fund. Okay. For example, 30 rupees in SBI energy fund. Okay. Another, let us say, remaining money somewhere else. Okay. 19 rupees in banking fund. So it is a fund which do not directly invest into securities, it invests into funds. That is also a fund of funds. So fund of fund is not just a scheme of government, it is a much broader topic. So where you do not directly put your money into the actual securities or into the end user, you give your money to someone who then put their money in different hands. So when you are financing indirectly or when you are buying indirectly through a screening process, that is the fund of funds. So I hope that is clear. So it is a government scheme which has been in news. Recently there was a review report also. So that is why it is very important. They can ask you the general concept, okay, where it will be generally like a mutual fund. They can ask you the scheme itself. They can ask you the impact also, why we need it or what are the benefits of fund of funds. They can promote the startups. They can create more jobs. They can create more innovation in economy than all the points that come with the startups. Then another point is it reduces the dependence on AIF, alternate investment funds. So those alternate investment funds, for example, different venture capital, different FII, foreign institutional investors, different angel funds. Okay, so on different kind of institutions and different third party operators, the domestic companies and startups will have less dependence, because all those companies, while they give you a lot of money and they give you money, I mean, in much easy way than some of the Indian counterparts, but sometimes their strategy is very predatory. They give you money easily in the beginning, but the money is given to you to waste, and later on they can take control of your company if you fail with their money. So I mean, those kind of things are also there, but let us not go into that dimension. Let us strictly keep to fund of funds. So it is like a fund which invests into other funds or other refinancing agencies. Okay, so it encourages the capital flow that we have already discussed, then reduces dependence on the foreign capital and also domestic venture capital, as it is also written here. Okay, and then it also gives particularly the seed capital to many startups. So all of these are important points. There are a lot of other related terms here. For example, mutual funds, AIF, SIDBI and different agencies. So we'll cover these terms also in the complete course. For now, fund of funds should be clear to you.